Hello, this is your favorite Five Nights at Freddy's theorist, Truth Theories, coming to you today with the top 5 people we want to see explained before this saga ends. Taking our 5th spot today is Golden Freddy. Lots of people will say that he deserves the top spot for being in all 3 games with little to no plot detail. I say that is the exact reason he takes spot 5. If Scott Cawthorn wanted to explain him in any way, he would have done it in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd game, but he has not. He's given little tidbits to his identity here and there, but besides that, we have nothing, and I would be fine to leave it that way. If he were left as just that one mysterious character that was never explained, I would be fine with that, but if he were given plot detail, I suppose that it would be alright, although there are 4 other people that are much more worthy of it than him. Now, coming in our spot 4 is Shadow Freddy. He was only given 2 places where you saw him in the entire quadrilogy, and that is when you saw him in the 2nd game in the Withered Room and a small mini game you see in the 3rd game. Now, besides that, there is nothing you see him in. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we once thought that he was actually the purple guy. There are many similarities in the fact that Shadow Freddy was released shortly before you see the Purple Man. But as it was shown in the 3rd game, they are not 2 in the same person. They are different people and have different little minigame figures in the minigames. So, besides that, we know nothing about him, and it would be incredibly agitating if Scott just added him to show instead of giving him any plot behind him. That would take away from the whole basis that this game is set on, which is that even the smallest and or biggest things have meanings in this game. I guess that brings us to our 3rd contender, which is Springtrap. Now, a lot of people say that Springtrap was explained in the 3rd game, but he wasn't. That was simply the Purple Man inside Springtrap dead, antagonizing the main character. I say that Springtrap has a rich history of being at Fredbear's with Golden Freddy, and as it was seen in the mid-game, there were 3 kids in front of a stage with Springtrap and Golden Freddy at it. And then the camera kind of shook, and then Golden Freddy was behind the stage, and he couldn't get in. Springtrap was alone in there, and there were only 2 children. This may point to that Springtrap has always had a problem with child molesting and rape, but I really don't know. I'd like to see this explained. Springtrap has a rich history that could be explored, and he is just one of the coolest looking characters in the whole game. I'd like to see him explained, but if he wasn't, he could just be one of those characters that was purely exclusive to the 3rd game. I'd be fine with that, but I'd also like to see him, given a little bit of background story. That would be really cool. But finishing up Springtrap brings us to our 2nd and unnamed character, the person that was advertised in the teaser photo for the Five Nights at Freddy's 4. This creature and or animatronic was shown to have sharp teeth, sharp nails. Just about everything on it is what would not be shown in the kids' place. Although all the 7s, 8s, and 7s in its code, in the image's code, would point to the fact that it was around 1987, around the bite, the biggest time for the business when it was at its prime. Now, I don't know whether this was, and I think that this thing is probably the purple guy's little experiment. He was taking parts from the other animatronics and building his own perverted, weird, disgraceful looking one that he would pop up one day and get fired for, but not before it killed a couple of children. But one day it malfunctioned and probably took a bite out of him or someone else, and it got taken away. The person caused the bite of 87, and he was forced to run away from the dying children. Although this is probably not true, people are just begging for this thing to be explained, because if it did take place in the child-friendly place of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, it would be quite interesting to see how they smuggled that thing inside. But as we finish up with number 2, we come to our number 1 spot. Drumroll please, the Purple Man. This guy has been around since the 2nd game, and as much of us have seen, has confused a lot of people. He's gone from being just one little part that we see to being the main child molester and killer that we know and hate. He started the entire scary series of events that horrified us and gave us nightmares for the rest of our lives. He's given us one of the most interesting plot stories that I have ever had, and I would not be ashamed to say it is the most interesting game I have ever seen. It is one of those games that you just buy simply to see what the story is, and he has made it so. The Purple Man has been given his death, but besides that, we know very little. We just barely know that he works at he works at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and that he is probably in his middle age. Although we know probably his age and his, let's say, job criteria, we don't know who he is, what his name is, what he did before it, and if he was linked to any other murders. We would like to know his entire life story, of if he was tortured rats as a kid, or if he worked at any other pizzerias, or if he was involved in the Fredbear incident, or if he was scarred as a child by one of the animatronics like Springtrap or Golden Freddy to turn into something like he is now. Besides that, there's nothing else that we can talk about because we have just finished our list. If you think I left anyone out or didn't, I don't know, say anything that made one of these characters special or put them in a higher place, comment below and let me know. Put your theories down there too so that I can make more videos about either them or revise some of the things I've already done. I was going to revise my Shadow Freddy one, but as of yet there is nothing else from 2 years ago about Shadow Freddy as we know now. So post below what you know and I'll do what I can. This is your favorite Five Nights at Freddy's theorist, Truth Theories, signing out.